Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Zentangle Explore. I am Esther Piszczek, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And this is a class where we draw one Zentangle pattern really, really slowly, so we can explore it in all kinds of different ways. And not how I like to explore it. I'll just give you examples and suggestions, but how you like to explore it. So all you will need is a pen. I have a 01 Micron here. I have a Sharpie felt tip, and then a couple pieces of paper. These are watercolor pieces. They're just small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. Or if you just have a ballpoint and a piece of computer paper, absolutely perfect. If you can hold a pen and draw a line, you're already a complete success in this class. So we're going to begin with a little breathing, and then we are going to draw for a long time. All right, so get nice and comfortable in your seat. You can close your eyes if you like. I'm going to close mine. And just find your breath. If anything in your body that's calling your attention, maybe your shoulders need a little wiggle, reduce some tension there. Maybe your jaw needs a little wiggle, or your temples. Just allow every single part of you to rest into your seat, into the floor, into the space where you're in, pulling all of your attention out of the outside world and inside, inside, inside. Inside, to notice your breath, to notice your body, to notice the surfaces that you're touching, notice the clothing that's touching your skin, notice your breath, moving your body. A little expansion on the inhale, and then a little baby little stop. And a little contraction on the exhale, and a little baby stop. Allowing your breath to be as exactly as it is. Just noticing its texture, its tone, its vibration, its frequency. Its coolness, its warmth. However you're experiencing it is just perfect. And to allow this awareness of our breath to be our companion while we're drawing, knowing that it is always here for us. From the minute we open our eyes, in the morning or when we're born, until we go to sleep, and we pass on to new adventures. So when you're ready, let's take one big inhale together. A nice sighing exhale, making noise if you like. Allowing the vibration of that sound to accompany the exhale. Another big inhale. And a nice exhale. Clearing out all the old oxygen in the bottom of our lungs to make way for new creative air and oxygen to come in. And one last big inhale. And exhale. Using that sound to affirm our life force and being in this space that we're in individually and here collectively. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Know that whatever we create together will be perfect, just as it is. Okay, thank you. I really love breathing before drawing. It's so, so helpful for slowing down. This is a class where we draw the lines really, really slowly. Okay, so I'm going to change my camera and we will begin. All right, so you'll need a piece of paper, you will need a pen, and that's it. So today we're going to draw a pattern called AI, which is love in Japanese. And I really love this pattern because it's really fun and it's very fitting. Today's Valentine's Day, no matter where you're watching this or when you're watching this. Today here on this moment with these students who are live is Valentine's Day. So we're going to start with a little V. And there's two ways to draw this, but we're going to start this way and then I'm going to teach you another way. So just a little V. And then I'm going to come to the left side of this V and pick up my line and swirl it around in a little spiral. I'm going to come to the other side, pick up this line, and run it right into the top, just like a little heart. Now this is an exploratory class, which means you get to explore every component of this tangle however you'd like. So if you really love this tangle this way, you could just draw it this way the whole way. But I'm going to continue and imagine where this line goes through here and pick it up on the other side and add another little swirl. So the other part of this tangle, and I'm going to show you how to draw these together, is to draw these little aura lines behind. So if we have all of these hearts all bundled up together. Now, if we want to draw these, you could just draw it just like this and explore it. And how we would explore it is say, look at what the components are. So this line and this line, they kind of come together. But what if this line was really big and this one was a little bit smaller? What would happen if these hearts behind actually go up behind and start building up behind this way? What if you added some weighting to this line? What if you added some color or some darkening to these circles? What if you drew a little mini heart in the bottom of this heart? So all kinds of ways to explore. So we're going to turn the tile. And I'm going to draw, and there are going to be 3 of these. So kind of think of 1, 2, 3, as if there were 2 lines coming off of here. So we can orient this. So this is the other way to do it, is just do it as a full line. So kind of like a really curly candy cane or a really curly cane. Then come up with the bottom, run this line in, draw through the other side, and add that spiral. And this time I'm going to draw the second one here, and then we're going to build these little auras behind together all at once. So I'm going to repeat this process, and I have to tell myself to slow down. This is the class about drawing slow lines. So I'm going to draw this line so slowly, super slowly with intention. And now we can start building these little lines here together. So Just add slow little aura lines behind. I'm going to show you how this is organically built. And you can just alternate these, and then in the middle, you can leave it just like that, or you can add a little ending there. And so these don't have to be small like this. They could be really big. This one could be really big. This one could bloom out into a whole new set of like daisy petals or flowers. Whatever is coming into your mind to say, well, what if I did this? Or what if I did this? You get to explore all of those options because you have a pen and a piece of paper and your beautiful breath. And time to do this. So if I wanted to keep building this, I can. But you don't have to. Do it my way because your way is the very best way to explore. This, building it like this, is one of my what ifs. What would happen if I go into each of these spaces and build on top of these hearts? And I am finding out your hearts can go off the page. Slowing down, finding that breath, allowing yourself to do something different. Sometimes I argue with my inspiration. Some idea will come to me and say, what if you do this? My brain says, well, that would be silly. My inspiration says, well, why don't you just try it? My brain says, that would be a waste of time. It's not going to work. My intuition says, but maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it'll be fun. And then I get tired of arguing and I say, okay, fine, I'll do the thing. And every single time I learn something new that I wouldn't have learned if I'd just done the thing that I thought I should be doing. And almost always, I look at what I did and I say, wow, that is like, wow, I never would have thought of it on my own without my helpful inspiration. And I love it so much more than what I had originally planned. I had a little epiphany last night about expectations and the creative process. And I started something new that I had done before, but not in a while. And I had an expectation about what was supposed to be happening. And so there was all kinds of frustration and anger, stomping of feet. throwing a fit, acting like I was way younger than my age and my abilities. So my husband recommended some music, so we put some music on. And that allowed me to calm down, do the thing that I wanted to do, and to learn something about the process that I was rediscovering. And I realized that my expectation was blocking my inspiration, was blocking my ability to enjoy finding out new things, was blocking any learning that could have been happening. And that if I go into a process or anything really that I'm doing without an expectation of, I mean, yes, you can have some sort of an idea of the direction you're going in, but without an expectation of outcome and say, I want to do this process. I want to learn this new thing. But to drop the expectation of really what it is that your actual goal is in the end. My goal is to learn this process. And the process I was talking about that I was dealing with last night was paper mache, which is a little messy. It's pretty specific about, if you want something to have structure later on, you kind of have to build it in a certain way. You have to have certain tools. It's a lot more complicated than a pen and a piece of paper. And so I had all kinds of thoughts and ideas, and none of them were nice about the entire situation, about my ability, about beginner's mind. I had none of that going on in the beginning. And I realized that my expectation was really what was causing all of that turmoil. Because if I had just gone into it with the thought of, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think as adults, we like to know what we're doing. If I know what I'm doing, I'm a competent adult. If I know what I'm doing, people will respect me. If I know what I'm doing, I will be rich or successful or feel purposeful or needed or valued. But all of those feelings actually come from the inside. We are the ones who are creating our own safety. We are the ones creating our own value. We are creating our own meaning in every single moment using our thoughts. So when you enter a process, any new learning experience really, but especially a creative one, and say, I don't know what I'm doing. It allows your inspiration, which is your guide throughout your entire life, your sixth sense, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, kind of internal knowing. It allows that part of you to come forward and speak and say, oh, you may not know what you're doing, but we know what. I know what you're doing. And you're going to do something that's so fun and so amazing that you're not even going to believe that you created this thing in the end. And sometimes it's hard to trust that that's actually possible. But if you think back to your life, you may be able to find some instances where that has already happened multiple times, where you didn't know, you got scared. And in the end, it all worked out because the only voice you followed was your own. your own brilliant, beautiful voice that knows a whole lot about you and how you work. And a whole lot about a whole lot of things that maybe you don't know anything about, but your inspiration does. So I've decided that my new endeavors, or really in anything, to start out by saying, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. I don't know, but I want to know and I want to find out. So I'm willing to allow this process to unfold in the way that it does. However it needs to unfold. So that I can find out what this new thing is all about in a way that does not include stomping my foot, throwing a fit, and being unsavory in all kinds of ways, which really just brings suffering to me. I'm not a fan of suffering, so why bring it on ourselves? We don't need to. All right, so this is my first little one. You can start a new one at any time. You can add creative black wherever you like. This tangle has a lot of lines, but not a lot of black, and black is what grounds it and makes it feel substantial. There's all kinds of ways to add black. Start, you could color in your little black auras behind. You could add a little weighting to some of these lines. It's always fun to add creative black. It's lovely when a pattern has black in it already, but then it's somebody else's idea of black. And I love adding creative black and sharing that. Really, it's a gift, a drawing gift to add creative black with my students, because it's so fun to say, well, if I was going to do this, where might it be? Knowing that there is no wrong answer. You may add it somewhere and say, well, I don't really like that. But if you hadn't tried it, you wouldn't know that you don't like that. And so you've learned something in the process of trying. And these are all exploratory tiles anyway. You want to make one that's frameable that you can put on your wall or in your journal or whatever. This is your practice space. It's an exploratory space. So this is where you say, it doesn't matter what I'm exploring. I don't know anything about this pattern until I draw it. And I really won't know anything about it until I draw it lots and lots and lots. So exploring is just, it's a beautiful thing because your intent to explore makes you a success. Right from the very beginning. Whoop, I'm way off the page here. All right. So I'm going to move on to a second one here. You can start a new one whenever you like. I have an idea about this pattern. Draw a really, really slow line. So slow. Off the page even. Imagining where it's going, where this line is going when it's off the page. So a lovely way to explore if you really can't think of anything new to do is to say, well, that's a thin line, and what if I do a thick line? That's a short line. What if I make it a longer line? That's a small orb. What if I make it, or small spiral? What if I make it a really big spiral? What if I play with the spacing of the lines of the spiral? What if I play with what I attach to the end of the spiral? What if I add orbs into the snail-like spiral? However you're exploring this is absolutely perfect. Even if it no longer even looks like a heart, that is totally okay. So if this idea of a heart has taken you in a brand new direction, bravo. Celebrate the victory of doing something new and unexpected. Can you imagine what life would be like if every time we did something that you could label as a mistake, but really all it is something new and unexpected. How much happier we would all be if we were constantly celebrating all the new and unexpected things that we were learning and doing. I mean, amazing. It would be amazing. And the good thing is that we all have that opportunity every single day. And nobody can stop us from doing it. Ever. Because it all happens on the inside. The inside is where the best stuff happens. And inside is all ours. It's absolutely ours. No jailer, no parent, no spouse, no sibling, no stranger can take that away from us. So nobody knows what's going on the inside of you except you. And you're completely in control of it all the time. And so part of my expectation of this paper mache project that I'm doing is because I have an art event coming up and there's a deadline and there's a vacation that precedes it. And so instead of just enjoying the process of discovering something new, I was in the process of saying, there's a deadline, it has to get done, and I don't know what I'm doing, and this looks terrible, which are all super unhelpful ways of actually doing the thing that needed to be done or that wants to be done. When I allowed the music to just take me away into the sound and the vibration, the song being sung, I let all of that go and just came back into the present moment, into my body, into my breath, and began to learn things about using my body to create in a new way, in a way that I haven't in years. In the end, I was quite pleased with what I had created. It It's only part of the process, but that experience has allowed me to say, well, when I get to the next part of the process, I'm going to take that idea or that mindset of, I don't know, right along with me. So that all of that frustration can just take a rest. So now in exploring this, I could have altered the shape. I mean, I'm playing around with larger size, but I'm still keeping the same idea of this AI tangle. But I didn't have to. I could have been playing around with changing the shape. What if I use the same idea and we're drawing triangles? Maybe I really like drawing angular things instead of organic swirly things. I mean, a heart is basically a triangle. So you could be drawing triangles instead and adapting them. And if I were drawing triangles, it would look something like this. And you can play around with how large the shape is. These curly cues aren't necessary. I've totally modified. You could put your own little whatever you would like in there. Just breathing, drawing lines. Maybe it only gets aura on one side. Maybe there's no aura. Drawing is a constant exploration and there's no end. It's endless. The number of lines that you can draw, the number of ways that you can draw them. It's so fun. Okay, these are my explorations of AI. Mikiko in Japan. Mikiko Moirkawa, and she's a CZT, and she created this beautiful pattern for us to explore. All right. Hi. Thank you so much for drawing with me. It's so exciting. You can take these drawings and you can put them in cards. You can leave them as Valentines. You can leave them in library books. You can put them all together as a little mosaic. You can watercolor paint them. You can add marker to them. You can write little loving notes on the back of them and send them to a friend, like a little get well card or happy birthday, or however you like to use them is totally up to you. So you can find my classes at eternalpossibility.com, and I'm always accepting donations to this class at paypal.me/eternalpossibility. And I hope that you are creative, continue to be creative in whatever way brings you joy.